Should be excited. 121. Andre Adams joining us. G'day, mate. Welcome back. How you doing?
Good, mate. How are you? You got any family member, have you?
Yeah, a little labradoodle called Presley. Presley isn't the king, right?
Oh, nice.
Oh,
nice.
Mate, honestly, they're worse than kids, mate, because, the thing with the baby, at least you know where it's going to do its ablutions, right? And then you just got to clean it. But with a puppy, mate, you're on alert the whole time, because the moment you leave him alone for half an hour, there's a chance he's going to do it inside, So,
yeah, well, they are going to do it inside. You just got to try and get them closer to the door, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and you just got to watch the warning sign. So I've been on my own for the weekend looking after him, and it's kind of that jet lag thing, because you never quite get enough sleep, because every few hours you got to get up and let him out and everything. And so so this is what it's going to be like for the next few months, mate.
Yeah. Mate, I've been there myself. We've got a 2-year-old Jack Russell, and he's a stubborn little shit. So I feel like he's my firstborn reincarnated. He's exactly like him. A stubborn little shit, adorable but a stubborn little shit. My God.
Yeah, and you've just got to wear it and bear it, don't you? And it's just you wonder why at this age you commit to this, but you can probably hear him in the background there. Anyway, he's moaning about the Black Caps, mate, and for damn good reason. Andre, was that? When we lost at home, that was pretty bad. We got beaten by 8 wickets, and they scored over 400 on a pitch that we could only manage 161 or something. But to get thrashed like that again, what excuses are there that we can throw?
Oh, I don't think there's any excuses here. I think they got beaten. They just got beaten by a better team on the day. I think that. Well, I'll tell you what I did like. I did like the grind and the grit from the middle to lower order in both innings. I thought that was awesome. We're obviously backing a few runs from the top 4 there, with the exception of Kane in the first innings. But I think you guys will have to adjust how they play the spin. But as far as the fight and the determination goes, I thought that was pretty exceptional.
Okay, so in the first innings, Phillips 42, Kyle Jamieson 23, Southey actually batted, got 30 both innings. Daryl Mitchell was great. Nichols, Conway, Latham, they're all getting off to a start in that first innings, and then it comes to the second innings. Conway again in his 20s, and Blundell 6. It's just, look, we need somebody to get a 90 or 100 in each innings, right? And if it's not Kane Williamson and Daryl Mitchell, who's stepping forward?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the fourth innings there, the wicket was going to turn a fair bit more. And the lads went pretty hard, looking to try and score. And I think it looked like, just watching from somebody, I was very lucky to be able to see it on YouTube. But I think it looked like the plan was obviously to try and score runs rather than just try and defend. Because I think, in those situations where you try and defend, you just get out. So I did like the aggression, because at some stage, if you start scoring runs, they have to remove fielders from around the wicket. But look, I think the big thing is obviously adjusting with the ball, being able to create pressure for longer, and then being able to soak it up with the bat. Not enough runs in the top 4, as we said. Kane was exceptional first innings. Very un-Kane-like to get out just after getting 100. But an amazing 29 Test century, which is some record.
Yeah, 29 Test centuries. Good Lord. It's insane, isn't it? Considering that, outside of Ross Taylor, who, surpassed Martin Crowe, and then Martin Crowe's 17, and you just sit there and you just think, this guy's going to finish with 30-something Test centuries. Maybe more, but at least 30-something. And that conversation and the names that puts him alongside, the guy deserves every plaudit you can give him.
Yeah, so, he's exceptional. And the funny thing with Kane is, you don't feel like he's getting any older, apart from the fact that beard gets a bit longer, and then occasionally he gets an injury. But he just seems to be this eternal, this burst of eternal youth. He probably doesn't feel like that. But he's he is exceptional. The way he puts his innings together, it seems like he just wants to face every ball. There's no great gung-ho celebrations when he gets to 100. Although I think he does cherish them. It's just part of the process and the long-term goal. But getting back to our batting lineup, probably not enough runs from, Latham and Conway. Conway and Tommy Latham have been exceptional in years gone by. Henry Nichols has been very good in spinning conditions in the past, so you'd expect a much better turnout from those lads in the second test.
Andre Adams is with us. Andre, you were going to link up with Bangladesh. How good are they, mate? I mean, in their own conditions now? Because when you say New Zealand has got beaten so much, 150 runs by Bangladesh, I mean, ordinarily, look, New Zealand cricket, we shouldn't lose to Bangladesh, should we?
No, that's not necessarily true. I think, maybe in the past when they first started playing Test cricket, though, they didn't have the ability. They weren't really known for being able to bat long periods and bowl long periods of pressure. But that's certainly changed. It's not, Bangladesh at home. They're a very tricky customer there. Any team is tricky at home. If you look at New Zealand's exceptional home record. Against touring teams, or probably just with the exception of Australia. New Zealand does very, very well at home, and so you expect teams to do well at home. That's why touring and going to the subcontinent is such a tricky thing, because you're dealing with not just different batting conditions, but you're dealing with different living conditions. You're stuck in the hotel. I mean, I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying this is what you're dealing with when you go to places like the subcontinent. It's not the same as touring England or Australia or coming to New Zealand. So. And Bangladesh now know how to play cricket now. It's not like they're just a team who's fresh into Test cricket. They're a very, very good team at home. We probably have to stop looking at them. The cricket public probably need to stop looking at them like they are easy beats, because they're certainly not that.
So, second test then, do we bring in Ravindra? Do we bring in Santner?
For who though? I think maybe Ish underperformed a little bit with the ball, but I thought he was excellent in his last few spells. Ajaz did okay, but without being too mean to Sants, he hasn't won a game in Test cricket. He's been exceptional in the white ball format, and he is an exceptional white ball bowler, but he hasn't been an exceptional Test cricket or Test bowler. He's a very good all-rounder, but I don't think he even has a fifer. So, look, I don't think he comes in unless he replaces Glenn Phillips. And the only way Ravindra would come in would be to replace Glenn Phillips as well. I think that would be, or he bats in Henry Nichols' spot, and then you add more spin. But that would be a bit tough, given that there's only been one Test match. But look, they are possibilities. I think, obviously, with Ravindra showing his ability to bat in subcontinent conditions, and he's obviously been exceptional over there. He's in great form. He would have to be coming into consideration. Does he open? Does he bat four? Personally, I think it'd be a bit rough, but there's a possibility that he might come in and bat in Henry's spot, and that adds more bowling. But you certainly wouldn't want to play him in the team and then bat him down the bottom, because he's not a lower order batter. So that would be, the questions would be all about balance and what do they need more of.
Second test then, it starts Wednesday. If we lose this series, this starts the World Test Championship, 2-0 away Bangladesh. It would have to go down as one of our worst, would it not?
Depends. It wouldn't be awesome. It certainly, New Zealand would be looking to come out of Bangladesh with some points, but I think it does depend on what sort of surface the boys get caught on over there. Batting last, obviously, in the subcontinent has its challenges. If you bowl first, you want to do the damage. And you want to control the game. If you bowl first, you want to bowl them out for a low enough total that you can sort of bat once and then chase a very low total, if that's the case. But it just depends, mate. You don't go to India and expect to win anymore. You don't go to India and expect to play on absolute dead flat belters in Test cricket. You play on absolute ragging Bunsons that are a massive challenge for the touring team, and the home team has the advantage. And so I would expect Bangladesh to put every advantage in their favour.
Let's turn our attention then to the White Ferns, who equally disappointed against Pakistan. That's a very first ever loss for them in a T20 in Dunedin. And again, just not a great performance. No,
it wasn't. I'm very close to to that squad. I've spent a lot of time with them lately, and I think probably the thing that the girls could have done better was that I think they just didn't adjust very well to the lack of pace from Pakistan. Pakistan were very smart with their bowling. They bowled exceptionally slowly on what was quite big boundaries. Bernadine got caught on the boundary, absolutely smoked it, got caught square leg with an exceptional catch. And that was probably a 70-plus metre hit, which is quite a large boundary in women's cricket. There's a few of the New Zealand girls who clear that comfortably, like Sophie and that, but that was a pretty big hit. So, but I do think not particularly smart with the bat. Probably need to be a bit smarter, play a bit straighter, hit the ball a bit later and a bit harder. And then with the ball, I thought we could have probably taken a few learnings from them. I thought we were probably just a bit too much pace on, and we could have used more pace off and make them hit the ball, because the Pakistani girls are not massive in stature. They don't strike the ball particularly hard, so they do need pace on the ball to score runs. So we have to be much better than that.
See, it's kind of a contrast, isn't it? Because they come here and they adapted to our conditions really quickly. And we've just been talking about the fact that we didn't adapt to Bangladesh conditions with the men's very quickly.
I don't know if it was so much excuse me, if it was so much conditions, Marty. I think it was more just a smart game plan. I think that game plan would work on pretty much anything that they would play on. I think if you're taking the pace off to the New Zealand batters at this stage with big boundaries, that would be a smart move. They know that they can't outpace New Zealand. New Zealand play pace very, very well at the moment. I think, particularly the middle order, Hannah Rowe's been on an absolute heater since she went to South Africa, and she's played the pace really well. So, look, I think they just played it very, very smart. That changes the pace they use, the bowling changes they use, and just the ability to bowl nice and straight and slow really it leaves New Zealand with a fair bit to think about. I think the girls will come out and think about that. And I do know, obviously, I spoke to Ben Sawyer yesterday. He's got some plans in place, and one thing that is very nice about Ben is he's a smart coach. He takes everything on board, and he's not just going to bang his head against the wall and try and repeat the same.
Andre Adams with us, former Test and one-day player, of course, for New Zealand, and coached New South Wales. He's coached the White Ferns. He's coached with the Australian team. Mitchell Johnson will end on this. Well, there you go. I mean, are you surprised by this? He certainly had given David Warner one hell of a lash.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting one. Like I used to be young and angry once, but I kind of grew up. I don't know. I have to ask my wife. But I think, I don't know, mate. That's part of what makes Australian cricket what it is. I think, the ex-players, and they like to have their say, they like to have their opinion based on how it should be. And it's very hard to follow. It seems to not matter what Pat Cummins does with this Australian team, they just can't win, any battles with the older players. I think, some of them almost went silent after the World Cup win, and sort of said congratulations through gritted teeth. I think, it's like there's an agenda out against them after the JL sacking, but Mitchell Johnson's tirade in the press, I don't know whether he's getting paid to do that, whether he's not feeling great, whether it's just a really strong opinion that's been blown up. I don't know. It just seems a bit. It just seems a bit sad, really, and I don't think there's any need for that, really. I mean, David Warner's done his time. He has, whether you like him or not, he's done his time. He's been a great player for Australia. The current coaching staff and management are doing things differently to how it was done back in the day, as you'd expect. People move on, sport moves on, organisations move on. I remember seeing some of the All Blacks this is back in the day down at the old Ponama, getting the young players to carry their bags onto the bus. It doesn't happen anymore. So things change, mate, and I just think he's either getting paid to be sensational or it's how he feels. Either way, mate, that's his opinion, but I don't share it.
Devlin. Oh my goodness me! The Platform.